think we got everything hooked up here. Don't have a real good chat option tonight, so I don't see a chat. That's my fault. I do feel like YouTube's app needs to add some kind of persistent chat, though. It's like it only pops up the ones that come up for 5 seconds. Like, I'm sure y'all get to see everything. I don't get to see everything. Used to be an option for that. Or I might just start setting up the laptop, streaming everywhere on OBS. That'd probably be a lot easier, honestly. Because I could do YouTube, Facebook, probably Instagram, probably TikTok, probably everywhere at the same time. Keeping up with the chat might be a little ridiculous then, but could be cool. Whoever's in here already, hello. Hope everybody is having a good Wednesday, my dudes. We got here Lips and D. D, are you doing this one? I think this will be a fun one to do. It'll be a whole lot of color play, a little bit. Gonna need a liner brush for sure. Gonna need some nasty greens, some nasty yellows. What's up, Tina? I was just thinking about you earlier. I hope you are well. I hope the grandbabies are well. 4 a.m. Gross. Gross. That didn't sound fun at all. Although I did wake up at 4 a.m. for no reason this morning. Well, I say no reason. I had that headache. That was it. This is going to be that SMLT. I'm pretty sure it's not 100% cotton. It's their sketch. I'm going to show you the cover real quick. It's their quote-unquote rough, which I did like their rough professional paper. They sent me some other stuff this time that's... I mean, it's a lot of it. Hey, we got a bird. Good. Hello, Terry. It's this one. So it didn't say anywhere 100% cotton, so I'm guessing it's cellulose. Got a little spider there. So we'll try it out. Curious about it. It could be just like I mean, as long as it kind of acts right. What's up, Caleb? As long as it kind of acts right, I think we're fine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have too many high hopes for it, but it could be cool. Turn that volume down. See if I can get the chat on here and then minimize that guy. All right, I got the chat, so we'll play with that, I guess. In between, make sure I'm not missing anybody. Oh, okay, I can kind of move that around. That works. Now, how do I get to the photo? Okay, I think we might have something here. Is there any way to go half screen with this thing? Probably not. Yeah, well, it's worth a shot. I can see the chat now. That's what I was really looking forward to. Okay, cool. What's up, Lauren? It's a little quiet because I'm trying to make sure Buggies doesn't hear me so I can get this paint done. Here we go. So what I'm going to do first is actually get those string beans out the way. So I do need to mix a good yellow here. Are you doing both TikTok and YouTube at the same time? I shouldn't be. Am I? I don't believe so. Am I? I was trying to find a way to do it earlier. That'd be cool. If I can just do all the different platforms at one time, that would save me a lot of time and heartache. And then the YouTube ones could post straight to Patreon, TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff. It's all the same one, so could be a big plus. I just couldn't get Facebook logged in for some reason because Facebook and Meta, I think, just hate me, if I'm being honest here. I've got some good blues and greens up here I'm probably going to use. Yeah, you can. I just need to, I can either do it from the laptop, which I'll probably try to set the laptop up tonight. Maybe we'll give that a go later on tonight. That could be cool. What's up, Keothy? You have a peacock in the neighborhood? I don't think we have any peacocks down here. Like just randomly, I mean. All right, so we're gonna use the liner brush for sure. I wanna mix up. Are y'all able to see the palette pretty good? I'm gonna go Turner Yellow. Yeah, that should make a really good gross green up there. I'm gonna keep this kind of light. I'm gonna grab some of that dark blue, mix some of that Turner Yellow in there. We'll see if we can get kind of a nasty green here. It's not terrible. So we'll have those two greens, kind of a darkish green, like an olive green, and that real yellowy green. Oh, there's peacock. So that looks decent. Maybe a little bit more warm yellow to that. So instead of the Turner, it's the Turner and the chromium. That looks closer to the green we've got in the picture there. And I want these really watered down because what I want to do is kind of tie in some of those yellow spots like around here. So like when I come through, maybe a touch bit more than dark blue there. You can use ultramarine for this. Little petting zoo. So what I'm gonna do is start kind of bringing these up a little bit. Mine's gonna be a little bit more blue. I like the blue look better anyway, so like I said, really watered down. That way all these things kind of do their thing. We'll start grabbing in yellows into that too. I want this to be pretty fluid. We'll get greener as we go too, so I'll add some of that yellow to it. It looks like it kind of tails off, and it does like a decent job of pushing some of those colors. So be a little bit of light green here. I am going to do those little curl arounds. Nothing crazy though. So a little bit brighter yellow around here. Keep bringing those lines in. Almost abandoning the what's that one, right? Out of Richards. Hot press, nice. I need to check to see if that's what they sent me or not. I don't want to really stress these lines too much. Just want to make sure I'm getting some of those like bright yellow little spots in here. Maybe a little bit more solid around this guy here, because it does start to spread out a little bit more. Again, just going back and forth between those greens. I want these to blend a lot. Start flattening this out a little bit more. Where's Fanny at when we have a Hotel Johnny going? It looks like there's some spikes in here too that I can probably grab as well. Start grabbing some of these other guys in. Again, just going through the greens. I'm not stressing getting green in every single one of these, but I do want that yellow to kind of do its thing too. Kind of like those loose florals in a way. Letting colors bleed as they go. Christina, did I hear you get to go see Maggie the other day? Start spiking on some of these. I haven't done a peacock since like the very beginning of my watercolor career too. What's up, Dawn? Looks like I kind of start straightening it out up here. Maybe a little bit more green. Running some of these lines down really good. If I sat here and drew out every single line, I'd be sick to my stomach. So that's why we're not doing that. As long as we don't get into the head a little bit. Could have used the crayon here too. That would be pretty cool. Hello, Melly. Maybe a little bit more yellow. I'm gonna put some yellow off to the side because that one's getting pretty dirty with what's going on up there in that little mixing tray. A few little spikes in here. Do like the bleeds we're getting though. You leave some white lines. I also need to cover up a little bit of these spots here, but it's still decently wet. Make sure we stay away from that dark spot there. I think you'd paint an awesome peacock. What is it? What did I miss? British left on my toe tan and sugars. Think about it though. We did kind of save some money at David's, right? Maybe a little bit darker. No name on paint these days. You can paint, dude. Being really loose with this actually. That sailboat kind of threw me for a loop earlier. I don't know why, but those sailboats stress me out. This is where it's gonna get a little crazy. Long runs here. Got a real watery mix going too that I don't necessarily like all the way yet. Need thicker lines. This goes all the way out, so we need to make sure we're kind of piecing some of these. Just trying to get the angle of the dangle. I'm not trying to stress too much here. Johnny and his Richard. Do y'all have a name for this for real? I almost want to pull the Bell Aquas out just because I feel like I can get a better long line with it. But I'm trying to use these black velvets to get used to them again. They're like the flagship of silver for some reason. I need some thicker paint. There we go. It's a huge peacock. Yeah, we're doing 8x8 tonight. More dark in there. A few little scratches. goes all the way out, starts bending out. So many lines, so many lines. Lazy Johnny just wants to pick up a different brush and do it. We're not going to do that. Yeah, agreed. It's good training, you know? I like what's happening here, though. I don't know why. Everything's been really reminding me of skies lately. Like I would like to do like a stratosphere sky, like with this same kind of pattern. Paint. This is the SMLT, but it's like the sketchbook version of their rough paper. They sent me a bunch of that, and I wanted the other one, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. I'm gonna try it out. I don't think it's 100% cotton. I'm almost damn positive it's not, honestly. Like I put my money, it's not. Especially when it says like sketch. It's very sketchy on if it's a 100% cotton or not. That's what I find. Me too. I actually rather it, honestly. Well, especially that one from SMLT, the professional one. Am I going out far enough with this yet? Like I do feel like that was one of my favorite papers I've tried in a long time. Posture Johnny. Some more darks back in here. Good thing is we've got a good watered down mix here. So I'm able to kind of keep everything consistent. Might throw a little bit more yellow in this. Let's grab some more of that warm yellow. Oh. Some more yellow back in this thing. Some more darks. Keep forgetting to put in some of those spikes. So we'll throw some spikes in as we go too. Oh, what's up, Steph? How are you? Digging where this is at so far. A lot, actually. Need to make sure that I'm not exactly leaving no white space either. Feel myself kind of tightening up around the body a little bit because I know what's coming with it. That could be overwork central there. Bob Ross. Bob Ross that curses a little bit. Does this go all the way down? Yeah. So watching the curves. Still keeping that yellow for those little spots, little eyeballs. chill. It's not the first time I've gotten that, so whatever. Yeah, we might try the multi-stream later on if I can figure it out. I'm gonna go ahead and set up the laptop for it a little later. And pray for the best. That could be very ideal. Anybody could watch it from where they want to watch it. The only thing I worry about is that I know like Instagram is kind of hard to do to get the chat persistent. Because you can do a group chat for most things, you just can't do it for Instagram, and I think TikTok. I'm almost positive, which would be wild because you can't watch TikTok live with the chat. Could be a little weird. We just start layering this down this way. That's kind of cool though. Just kind of doing a little brush pattern. Not a whole lot of thinking to it for sure. And mixing greens like this too. I want to say like the first painting I did, one of the first paintings I did had a kind of feel to this. Start adding a little bit more blue to that. Got this mix so watered down. Very loose. I wish I would have done this with a bigger liner though. I think that would have been better. This is kind of tedious too. A very weird way. More blue here. Yep, very tedious. Got some yellow I need to get back in here too. Blue. Definitely more of that Turner yellow. What's up, Gimme? Got a few of these little eyeball eggs I've forgotten up here. I think I got another one around here. I can come back on this way. Did we lose it on these? I feel like we lost it on these. Really shocked Fanny's not here for the music, honestly. What's up, Sass? Pizza for dinner? Nice. I wish. I don't know what we're doing. We're kind of late to the party with everything. The youngest started napping super late for some reason. More lounge. This is one of the playlists on Spotify. All right, I need a neon green here. So what I'm gonna do is mix some of that Helio with a touch of that Turner. Let's see what that turns in a little bit. It's pretty neon. The only problem with that Turner is it does have a bit of white to it. Probably needs to be leaned a little bit more yellow. Yeah, that's good for me there. Maybe even a little bit of titanium yellow. So like a lemon yellow might help right there. They both have a decent amount of white. Bring back smoking jackets. Let's dry this guy. At least around the body and towards where my hand's at, because I've already dabbed that in. We might use cobalt for this. I hate that, but we might use cobalt for the body. I do need to get rid of some of that cobalt anyways. Can I request a zoom in to get a better look? It's gonna be a little tough on this one because of how big it is. I can try that. Yeah, me too, Phthalo, but it seems a little bit more blue than green blue. I am gonna add some Helio into that though, Helio green. There's a bit of red to those eyeballs. I will do plain red with a little bit of yellow. This paper didn't feel terrible yet, but I am kind of just scratching at it on this. So I guess we'll see. I can see that. I don't think I have a phthalo in this one. I'm pretty sure of it. That's one of the colors I need to replace in this palette. I'm going to replace cobalt with phthalo. I want to know how cheap this paper is, price-wise. What's up, Sherry? I don't know if I can go too close to what it says, but I'll give you a little bit of that. Expert. Fair. Okay, cool. Let's grab some water into the liner brush. We need to keep using the liner brush because it's going to be almost a background wash of this stuff. So we'll push in just a little bit of that color. I'm going to leave some of that white. Again, keeping this really loose. Maybe a little bit more titanium yellow to that. What I might do as this dries, I might throw a little bit of that dark green into it. So we'll grab some of that blue-green we had earlier. Just kind of test the waters on this. If I start leaning into the details, I'm going to hate myself. So that's what we're getting away from here. But I also don't want it to blend in with the other stuff too. So we get a bright enough green, make sure we don't lose that. And I am kind of crossing my eyes a little bit. That headache is still there a little bit. It's not terrible, but still there. Same thing back on this guy on this side. Do-do-do. Nice. Yeah, I'm making sure I'm keeping that line by the body decent. A little bit more titanium yellow. We did mix it in with a little bit of blue there. The amount of times that I've played to this or painted to this playlist is unreal. Before TikTok came around and we were doing Instagram for everything. Very weird. A little bit of blue. A little bit more yellow. Good thing about using this green here is that I know that it's a little too dark for those eyeballs. So I'll have to change that up here. A little bit more of that dark blue. It's a bit stronger on this side, so I went back into the other side just a little bit. They kind of bleed in to the wet a little bit more. I hear Buggy's causing trouble already. Stream this large on TV. I rather enjoy squinting and making my difficult. Do you prefer music like this or more upbeat to paint? Much rather TikTok music, if I'm being honest. It's just better. Because this isn't bad. Like, I kind of zone out to it, but it definitely changes my demeanor for damn sure. Definitely changes my demeanor. All right, so I need super bright here. I'm going to take that titanium white, or titanium yellow, I'm sorry. I'm going to dry this and start doing those eyeballs around. I could go back in with some stronger greens on the long feathers, and I might. I just don't want to ruin that look I've got with what's going on. I like those bleeds we got a lot in it. We'll see how it looks against the blue. Kind of play this with my ear a little bit. The coffee's already cold. Sad. It's a sad day. All right, now I'm going to go back around, throw this yellow kind of all over the place. It does look like it goes all the way around the ring. A little bit stronger on that. It doesn't really matter if you go on the inside of this because we're going to cover this up with a little bit of red and blue anyways. I am leaving like a little bit of white. Not a whole lot. Just being very loose with it. Make sure we get all the ones on the left first. That way we don't strike out and have to come back, put our hand on the paint over here. Bart. Later, nerd. I see that titanium yellow's got some opacity to it. It's a bit opaque. Can't believe we're doing this entire painting with one brush, though. Very par for course. Let's see, here I was thinking I did it early enough to where everybody would stay up. 4:30 comes early. I know that. Yeah, you can almost get away with putting this straight titanium yellow on top of paint. Almost like a gouache, honestly. When do you ever swap brushes? True. A bit of a hard head. But I mean, I feel like if I can do a lot with the brush, I mean, you'll hear me say it a lot too. Like I should have switched brushes here, or I should. I think it's also kind of good to kind of learn your brushes too, honestly. I have another little egg right here. I think that's it. Yeah, no, that's why I like YouTube too, honestly, D. Especially the mixing part. It's so much easier to explain mixing when you can see the palette. I can tell you all day long I'm putting ultramarine with olive green, but you can't see which way I'm leaning it, you know? About a size 12 as you recommended, but still default to an 8. That's fair. All right, let's dry that. That way our reds don't mix so much. And it is kind of a cooler blue, so what I might do is we'll test cerulean. Cerulean with... Yeah, weird. I would go orange instead. I just feel like that cad red would make a better mix. So I'm just gonna put a gradient behind it, basically, on the eggs. And I'm gonna go smaller brush here. I'm gonna go size 0, not the liner, just so I can make sure I get it kind of clean. I don't want this entire thing being stupid loose, you know? So let's switch over to size 0. Let's go cad red. It'll be in that little spot there. And then a little bit of helio cerulean kind of by itself right here. That's pretty strong. But this might work. Let's go really watered down with it. Let's see. All right. So we can start out with the blue. Make sure we're keeping a little bit of that yellow in between. Then go into that red. And that should water down a good bit. I want to see which color takes over, really. Maybe more water down on the paint, too. What's up, Val? More water down on the blue. More water in the red mix. I don't want either one being too strong. Let's grab a little bit more of a cleaner circle there. So basically what I'm doing here is just swatching for the most part. Yeah, see, that works. Let's go a little bit more vibrant. blue down first and see if it didn't take over as much. Johnny, you have influence. Can you add a YouTube? I wish. I think I'm focusing a little bit too much on the red. I do want that red tilt in there. I'm gonna go back and forth between the red and the blue just so I can not wash off this brush so much. I like that blue a lot. That's gonna be the blue for the, well, maybe a little bit more cobalt to it. Yeah. Push that down a little bit. We'll see how strong this is too. I'm kind of curious how this is going to dry. We might have to go with a second layer here. I hear a buggy's yelling for me. I hear Lila screaming. She's getting huge and I don't like it. It's crazy to think that I would be almost done with the kids. And then we started over 10 years later. And I'm painting this at kind of an angle too, so it might be affecting how the paint comes off of it. Probably could have been a little bit more artistic with the way these kind of turned out. I don't mind it either. If we got to go with a stronger line here in a minute, not a big deal. Looks like we got one more right here. My blue is becoming purple and my purple is becoming blue. This is a fun paint though, if I'm being honest. It's really loose. Everything's staying loose. I'm very happy with how loose this is. This is one of those moments in mid-paint where I realized I should have just went thicker with the paint from the jump. Because I like what's happening up in these guys. We'll push a few of these with the red, keep that red kind of clean. I can move fast enough to go back into them with that blue. If I don't drop my brush. What's it auto-focusing on? Hand, art. when I go for the water, probably. It makes sense. All right, I like where that's at. Try everything, get a little bit more brighter on the blue, I think. I don't know if it's the paper or what, but it is taking longer to dry. And I think if I could set up the multi-stream, I think I can stream to Twitch again, which would be kind of cool. I can stream on there in some time. We had people on there too. It's just hard to push people to Twitch. This is the SMLT, the rough sketch, not the rough professional. I'm pretty sure it's cellulose. Let's get some of that blue in there. All right, so we'll rock Helio Cerulean. God, it's such a bright blue. Maybe a little bit of cobalt in that. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Let's get a little bit bigger of a brush here. What I want to do is grab that blue, and we'll start kind of layering everything out a little bit. Is there light on this guy? Not necessarily, right? Buggies is not chilling. Might leave a little white stripe on this guy. Grab some more water. I want to go back for a second and wash if I can, get those darks back in. Looks like we got to get a bit of dark here. Some of that kind of bleed back in just a little bit. Push that down with water. Already seeing things with this paper. We'll see how this goes, but that shouldn't be blooming right there. Might be fighting the paper here in a second. Fist fighting. Can y'all see that? Do with that kind of edge there, though. Yeah, let's hope for no blooms here. I want a nice wash, but might not necessarily get it with this guy. Push back in. Yeah, the 1000 GSM was terrible. I feel like I say those things, but I truly like to watch painting come in. Me too. It's a fun part of it. I like seeing color come in. So what I want to do is, I got the Helios, the green right there. Take a little bit of that cobalt, a little bit of that helium cerulean. What I want to do is push this blue in. There is a bit of like dark right around the eye, so I might try to pull that in real quick. I'm just kind of watching what the paper does on this guy, because this could stain on me pretty quick. I need to add some water and green to the bottom of this. So just go a wee bit more of a curve there. So I'm keeping that kind of edge wet there. You can, yeah, it's already trying to bloom. Okay, not a big deal. I can work with that. What I'm gonna do is grab some water, and we'll keep that bead alive with some water. Maybe even create a little bit of texture on accident there. I want to take that helio green, push it right towards the tip here. And I want this to meet up with that blue. Kind of blend. He's getting almost a hairline here. Some more of that blue. Kind of push that back in. Where's the eyes go? Eyes are pretty skinny. So we'll grab the eyes down a little bit more, that way we don't have mean eyes. That little tip of blue there. Yeah, I like where that's at actually. Let's dry those two. Oh, sorry. You could definitely go stronger on the blue. I just didn't want to go all in one wash with that. I am going to throw some darker greens in that background. I don't want to cover up everything, but I want to cover up a little bit more. That paper really started to do some weird things there. Alright, what I might do now is actually do that black. So I'm going to use the dark blue. I might just use straight dark blue, honestly. We'll kind of piece some of these guys in. Smaller dot for all these little guys. Should be dark enough. Worst case scenario, we can always go back on top of it with it's cerulean. Just get that brighter blue at the bottom. Something is sticky on the bottom of my hands. It's pretty thick paint here too. Did you pre-sketch the feathers? No, the feathers I did not. All I did was the circles, just so I knew where they were at, kind of. We're recording this, we are, yeah, and we're charging. Hell yeah. Something is sticky around here. I walked around all day. We went to the grocery store earlier. I had blue paint on my arm pretty much the entire morning. And not one person asked me if I was an artist, you know? Probably just think I'm bruising. Yeah, it's got some wee little eyes on this guy. Not a whole lot. I don't want mean eyes, for sure. I know, that's what I said. These kind of came out kind of dark over here. This one I got a little bit thicker with the paint. That's probably a good mixture of paint, what we got going on here, but also didn't want this painting to take 2 hours, so that's what we're kind of rolling at. I like where it's at. Have you ever seen an albino peacock? They are different kind of stuff. No, I don't think so. All right, cool by me. Looks good. Let's do another wash on the body. What I might do is pre-wet first on this guy. I'm gonna wash and not put my hand in any of this. We'll pre-wet, that way maybe we don't run into those bloom issues again. Hear the buggy. I'm gonna do is grab a little bit of dark blue into that. I see that doesn't even bloom out. That's a little nutty. That's strange. Very strange. Grab that water and lift a little bit of this body here. All right, I dig that. Push back into that dark blue again. I'm gonna go a little bit darker on everything, actually. I always come back with a darker shade to kind of outline everything, but got a lot of water down there. Yeah, a little bit more pigment here. A little bit darker. Dark blue. A little bit into the shadow here. Always lift a little bit if we need to. All right, I kind of like where that's at. Is there any more dark spots I'm kind of missing? A little bit more towards the neck. Kind of push that little pigment towards the edge of the neck. And a little bit darker down here. All right, cool. Same thing up here. We'll go a little bit darker on the head. Kind of push back a little bit. Wet brush. I don't want to take over that green either. I'm just trying to get a little bit more pigment to the head. Ah, wild turkey could be cool. Did he drink wild turkey? Or does he hunt? He hunts, doesn't he? All right, let's try this guy one time. My head is doing some funky things. Might need to push a little more pigment on that. Try to soften it up a little bit there, and it's just turning back into the green. Back with some blue. I'll just soften it back up. This paper's not bad. I can see it being good. Like, I might cut this into 4x6s and bring this for plein air, which I plan on doing tomorrow too, by the way. I don't think I'm gonna go live with it. I think I just need some content anyways. I'm gonna find some place to paint for a little bit. They do have this little blue spot right here I need to get. I can tell the paper's tearing a little bit right there. All right, let's dry. Yeah, these aren't too difficult. He does hunt. Yeah, good with turkey, dude. That'd be sick. That would be sick. I might grab one more dark shoulder here. Posture, Johnny, posture. Hopefully when I remind myself about posture, I remind y'all. All right, let's grab that blue one more time. Helio. Just touch it with a dark blue. I'm gonna create like a really dark shoulder here. Does it go all the way down? It does. And I might touch this like I do my shadows. Just get a little softer edge. So we'll do a little bit more than I would imagine. What I'll do is just bare wet brush here. Yeah, this paper's a little weird. A little bit of blue in between that. There is like a little bit of a shadow on his chest. All right, that's good for me there. If I do any more to that, I'm gonna do too much. And same thing on this guy, right around here. And soften that back up with a wet brush. All right, cool by me. Let's grab some of that dark blue. I don't know why I'm going to use this brush, but we're going to use this brush. It should work fine. Come back into the head just a little bit. I know the eyes have like a little bit of a black spot here. Comes up into the nose a little bit. Very cool. I like that. I don't have a buff titanium, so instead of using that, I'm probably just going to water down some brown. Use it for my shadows on the beak. Get a little head feather. I'm glad you said something. I'll do that now, actually. More dark blue, maybe a touch of that green. Could be using a smaller brush here, but we're hard-headed. Wet that brush a little bit. Try to ease some light back into this. All right, very cool. Same thing, I do want to get that little headpiece that does this little thing here. cool. There's a little bit of that dark. Goes down below the eye a little bit. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of a watered down burnt umber here. I'll kind of piece these shadows in a little bit. Goes all the way up. Got it. All right, I dig where that's at. A bit of water, dirty that up just a little bit. Back to this dark spot here. Curl these eyes out a little bit. A wee bit of dark. Feathering that in like a lot. What's up, Robin? More of that blue. I want this body kind of crazy thick now. It's the only bad thing with watercolor is it definitely goes away. This is going to be pretty stout, but I'm going to use some water to kind of come back into it because I want this shadow of that to be a little bit. And round this beak back out a little bit more. See how that's drying already? Let's grab some water and make a mess. This is going to dry back so light. Piece some water back into there because I can already see it drying with a weird line. More pigment here on the neck. And while that's wet, we can get a few little spots of maybe some what if feathers. Isn't making a mess the point of painting? I wish. If I really felt that way, that'd be cool, but I don't want anything super strong right there. And the same thing on this guy. More blue up here. A little bit lower this time. I'll bleed back into it a little bit. Feather back in. I'm using the water to bloom out some feathers. His eyes look a little tall. Maybe a little bit more watered down on the brown. We've got those hard lines already, so what I can do is just kind of set the beak a little bit. All right, very cool, very cool. A little bit harder on the dark blue. Looks like we can actually piece this back down into a little bit. Still decently wet. Feathering a little bit of softness there. A little bit more dark blue towards the top up here. Well, this is still kind of wet. It does to me. I end up with paint. Feather that back a little bit. See, I feel like I just didn't get enough dark on this arm right here. Let's soften that line. I don't want him to have a dress, but all right, cool, ka-choo. It looks like that dark goes a little bit further down into the eyeball a little bit here, so that's what we'll do here. Don't want it to have like super long eyeballs. All right, let's draw that guy. Yeah, this might be really good. I'm gonna use this for plein air. That's what I'll do. That'll be a lot easier because I don't really care about those paintings as much. So I'll cut a bunch of 4x6 out of this and get like a bunch of paper. I do need to fix that little feather he's got up there. Let's grab a little bit of brown, a little bit of blue. Kind of widen this guy back out a little bit. All right, cool. Cool with that. Let's grab the liner brush. I'm gonna take that dark blue. I'm gonna take that warm yellow. Try to create almost an olive green. I need to clean that yellow out. Holy hell. All I want to do is go back through this and try to gather up some of these lights. Create a little bit more contrast. Good thing is I already kind of have the guide for where this wants to go. So I don't have to go back and try to figure out how I'm doing these lines on the fly. Watch where I got those lights at. These little scratches while I'm at it too. Water down. What I'm really trying to do with the darks is bring that yellow out of those fancy feathers to eyeballs. This could go south fast if I get a little too messy with it though. So being careful not to cover up all those light greens we got too. Getting mainly around the yellows. I need more paint. Any of that with some little spikes. Still keeping a loose brush mostly. Lila's calling everybody girl now. I think it's because of Erilyn. So like when she talks, she's like, "Okay, girl." Nah, dude, I'm your dad. Whatever, girl. That's what she says. I hear her coming. I'm not caring too much about this, just trying to bring the dark in a little bit. Yeah, making sure not to get around my yellows too much though. Bring those out a little bit more with the color. No, bruh's coming. That's Erilyn now. Yeah, we've gone through it all over here. More blue. She makes a really good green there too. Splits. It's a really weird spot for this rigger right here because I'm right-handed and this doesn't meld real well for this angle. More water. More blue. Get a little bit more wild towards the bottom here. I think we can get away with it, especially being kind of in the foreground of the feathers. It's the spot that I hit with my hand earlier. A few touch-ups. I should be done here. I did just do all this, but I'll put my hand down just a little bit. Grab a little bit more of the dark in my eyes here. A little bit more sadistic looking. Kind of the same thing on the back side of this eye here. Back to using the liner brush because we're crazy. The girls aren't fancy, is that what you said? I need to skinny up that nose a little bit. It's a nose job. It's more of that brown, burnt umber. I'll push this back down a little bit more. There we go. Wee bit of a nose job there. Yeah, we're gonna leave that be. Okay, I like where this is at. I think anymore, and I'm doing a little bit too much to it. It's definitely moody as shit. I think we could go back on top with the blue for those eyes, but I kind of like where it's at. It's almost 8:30. We've been here for a while. Holy moly. You go check on the kids, make sure we got something to eat. It's cool. I think I would have went lighter on the pigment. I did go kind of small on the eggs too. I think in another world I would have masked off the eggs, the eyeballs. Had my way with like a bigger liner brush probably. I don't mind that blue though. It's pretty close. I think I could have went darker in some spots. I'm not mad about it. Nice little paint. I haven't painted one of these in a while. We might be painting another one. That'd be really cool. Let's see what this paper does when you rip off the tape. Okay, not terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna cut these into 4x6s and load my plein air setup with it, I think. Maybe make a little small sketchbook too. Anyways, hope you guys had fun. I think it's pretty cool. Can't believe we spent an hour and a half on that. But mucho love, mucho appreciation. We'll do another YouTube live soon. Friday's gonna be TikTok. Saturday we got Lila's birthday party, but I'll probably be on YouTube for Sketchy Saturday after that. If you don't follow on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Patreon, you should. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Later, nerds.